Hello students, this is another video guide for your fourth assignment. Your fourth assignment will be another journal entry. This time you are going to analyze a speech, and so you need several documents today out of your content folder. You need your art of rhetoric, the elements of rhetorical analysis, the main questions for analyzing rhetoric. In addition to that, you need to go to the rhetorical analysis essay folder and pull up PIGSAC. It's a document that will help you navigate your way through the rhetorical situation, and you need the rhetorical analysis planning sheet and Pearl Harbor speech, Roosevelt's Pearl Harbor speech. So once you have opened those documents, you will start with, again, the elements of rhetorical analysis. You should be quite familiar with these terms and the steps and the questions. But again, here are some purpose verbs. So as you're trying to decide upon Roosevelt's purpose in each section of his speech, you can look at this to help you. Here are some tone words again that will help you discover or analyze his attitude. In addition to that, the 5 questions for analyzing rhetoric. What's the point? What's the purpose? What's the attitude towards the subject? How does he convince the audience that he is credible? And what emotional effect does he have on the reader? So you always have to have those questions in mind. And then here is PIGSAC. This is another strategy that you haven't seen before. It is the rhetorical situation, and all these elements interact with each other. For example, the P stands for persona, and so the speaker wears many hats. Often he may be a father or a patriot or a husband, and so you need to consider the different personas and how the speaker wants to be perceived. Intention is the same thing as purpose, and so what does he hope to accomplish? Genre would be, in this case, in today's assignment, you're going to read a speech. Subject, what is the topic about? What is the speech about? The audience, what does the audience know? What do we believe? And what are our attitudes and ideas? This is important because when giving a speech, the speaker needs to be aware of his audience and how he can reach them and appeal to them. And then the context, time, place, what are the motivating forces behind the speech. One of the terms that you'll see quite often is called exigence, and what that means is what has gotten in the speaker's craw. Why does he feel the need to talk about the subject now? And so that's very important to understanding the rhetorical situation. And then we have this planning guide. I would print up the speech and go through each one of these steps because it will help you have some structure to your response. And so one of the first steps is to circle any words that you're not familiar with because they may be really important to understanding the speech. The second step, and you should do this on your passage, is write PIGSAC, PIGSAC, and then try to find at least 5 different examples of the persona. How does he shift the presentation of himself throughout the speech? 5 different purposes. You only have one genre, and it's a speech. The subject, he has different subjects throughout. How does this audience change or vary, or who is the audience? What are the different members of the audience? And then one of the most important parts is to divide it into chunks. And if you read this, it says right here, divide the passage into sections. It might be paragraph, or it might be small groups of paragraphs. One of the best ways to divide a passage is to look for shifts, moments in the passage where the author seems to change the direction of the piece. Shifts are often indicated by transition words like but, yet, however. So as you read the speech, I would draw a line under each different section of it, and in the margin write the purpose of this section is to do this, and then later he hopes to do this, and then finally he hopes to do this. Okay, This handout also gives you some ways to write an introduction for rhetorical analysis. You want a hook, and one nice way to create a hook is to define the topic or the subject, to create an analogy. In some cases you can use a personal anecdote, but in a formal analysis you really wouldn't use a personal anecdote. And here's some other strategies right here. Here's an example thesis statement. So you would say in the title of the passage, as President Roosevelt hopes to, and that will help you write a thesis statement. You will use this for your essay, which is your next assignment. This is a way to organize and structure your essay, so you want this tool very handy and available. So let's quickly look at the Pearl Harbor speech. This is what you will be responding to in your journal, your second journal. And this was a speech that Roosevelt delivered on December 8th, the day after the Empire of Japan attacked Hawaii. And so as you read this, again, keep the 5 main questions in mind. Look for diction, powerful words. Look for imagery, which appeals to your senses, or figurative language. Look for the tones and how his tone shifts constantly throughout the speech. And then that's how you will analyze the speech and respond to it in writing. He also has repetition, which is a rhetorical strategy, and you can see that just from looking at it. He has last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. And so go through the speech, divide it into sections, write the purpose for each section, and then complete the steps on the planning guide and post your journal. Your journal, again, is right here under the journal tab, but it's the Pearl Harbor speech. And this is the prompt. For this assignment, you need to address this prompt where you analyze the rhetorical strategies Roosevelt uses to convince the nation to declare war on Japan. And after you complete the planning steps, all you have to do for this response is write your introduction and your first body paragraph. Okay, so again, if you look at the planning guide, you will do the introduction right here, and then you will do this one body paragraph. Okay, and this will help you, this handout, this possible structure or outline will help you with this assignment. So read it carefully and use it. And that's it. Thank you.